Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith, leading the Black Quant Edge VTF and T3 Live here with this weekend's market breakdown. We got SPY trying to come in once again, and you got this big old Brexit triangle. We're trying to get here. You can see this now back to the bottom of this thing, and we just got stuck in here. And if you take a look here, you're going to see multi-inside bar pattern. So we opened on the lows on Monday and then spent all these days, 4 days inside that range. We need to get outside of this range. We got the benefit of the inside day and up here, and there was a nice move that came into triangle resistance, gaps back down and now into here. So what that sets up in a lot of cases here, if they do want to give it the old smackdown, is the momentum shooting star weekly here. Which we're all week we were in conflict because we opened Monday on the lows and we're down on the month, up on the week all week long. So that's going to need to change to get some full time frame continuity going. You can see once again the big Brexit triangle and trying to get back into that. So the question is, can we retake this up, or are we going to start taking it all down? But first things first, got to get out. Oops, my bad. There we go. You got to get out of this thing. This day's range. Last Monday's range, and then stay out. And so that's what we'll be looking for right out the chute. If you go to QQQ, stronger Qs did the delayed move here on the inside day up. Came back for potential rev stretch because it couldn't take this day out. Needed to get outside of that. Did the next day for the Ripper, and now closes an inside day. So NASDAQ's sitting right near the highs because you had the semiconductors, and we'll get to that in a second. Went to new recent highs. If we go to Apple got them but good on the old triangle here. Right in here, oh, it's the worst looking chart ever, and then bam, right up they shoot. And so in the weekly, that just gives you this here, this up, corrective action, continuation triangle. Now you're coming up towards the top of the weekly here. What you do have on what that gives you is the outside month. So it's just trying to expand. You took out this outside month here, and you're above that. Still need to go after this stuff. Could use a new actionable signal. Don't have it. If you go to small cappers going inside day as well here, and went to those slight lower lows. Did get that inside day and up, and now another inside day. So I want to see how that goes. You can redraw this. Anytime a new day makes the lower low, you can go like that. But an inside day to start off with the small cappers. TLT bonds went down on a gap and then back up rev strat on a gap. Still is month and down here. And so what it's trying to do here is going to try and thwart that with a hammer week. So we can see either side of that. Either as full time frame continuity and inside month and down to the downside, or counter with hammer back to the upside. If we go to SVXY right back in the middle here, and a big range to try and get out of. So you saw all that stuff really move around. UVXY, of course, and VXX. A little tough one to see that. So we go to the SVXY. It's a lot easier to see. Nowhere near taking out either side. So that gets interesting to see if we go inside week there. If we go to the Dow Jones Diamonds, there's that potential momentum shooter here. Inside day, 4-day inside pattern. Needs to get outside of that. You got Boeing trying to do the momentum shooter. So a lot of these things, because we opened on the bottom of the week and came back towards it, do set up the momentum shooters to be careful of. So momentum shooter weekly, and with Boeing, that would be a combination of an inside month and down here, trying to get outside of this month here. So be careful and look for that thing. Cat Tractor, still doji on the month and hanging in there, an inside day. And so I'm trying to watch this triangle here with this inside day in the cat. You've got DuPont here, just with this daily triangle to keep an eye on. No actual signal except maybe a hammer. We're trying to get outside of this range here, but keep an eye on that triangle if they start perking up. If you go to Home Depot, and we'll get to the retail in just a second, Home Depot inside day. But once again, that weekly momentum shooter to try and take this stuff out if it's weak enough. If we go to IBM, another weekly momentum shooter potential and inside day. It's also monthly shooter down, so a little caution here in the IBM, still walking down this lower series. If we go to Intel, some of that techie, Intel's inside month and up, so that's doing just fine. You go to Coke dropping off here and going inside day here to see if that continues, because remember the XLP, all that defensive stuff is still month and down. And if you go to Pepsi with the Coke, you're still month and down, and you go inside week here and see if that combination kicks in. If you go to Triple M also another momentum shooter to try and take this out. And on the monthly, by 2 cents is rev strat downside. So momentum shooter, rev strat month down, Triple M. Nike Still would be the inside month as of now forming, which once again, the momentum shooters, we're going to keep an eye on these right out the chute here. If we start taking out last week's lows, inside day momentum shooter Nike. Procter & Gamble with that XLP still not budging inside day and still trying to walk up this. Here, Procter & Gamble still acting real well, at least on a slow waka, but certainly not like the others. Travelers monthing down in the financials and just starting off as an inside day here. So we want to see if that goes down, sideways measured move, or holds bottom of triangle like such. The Travelers. If you go to Verizon, Verizon inside day here, and just going to see if this triangle holds, if they go back into yield and start trying to pop her back up. If we go to the trannies on the monthly, hey boy, never easy, is it? Goes inside month and up and then comes back in to see if it can go one bar rev strat down or re-break to the upside. Like most things here, potential momentum shooter to expand the range to the downside. American Airlines doing this. You can see here on the daily. Goes up, goes inside day and down. So we can see this triangle here just above 34 or worse and see how it handles that. It was monthly hammering up and now trying to counter that. So just keeping an eye on this tight triangle here and see what that gives us next to everything. Alaska Air coming in on the monthly, and Alaska Air trying to go like the trannies, trying to go rev strat month or one bar. And if the daily, you can see this here, and you'll see how far it's going to come, either just this stuff or more things down in here, like so. We'll see how that goes. If you go to Delta, watching the monthly, inside month, still inside 3-bar pattern, still inside this thing, so we'll be looking for initial breaks on that. Spirit Airlines, Save still much weaker than the rest. You can see this, just drifting death. Somewhat momentum shooter there too. If we go to United Airlines still holding a little bit better so far, but inside day to see if it's gap fillage in the village back here or can try and hold this outside bar back up. If we go to the railroad CNI, just a little daily triangle to keep an eye on. No new actionable signals there. If we go to CSX, still acting the best, inside month and up. Maintaining its inside month and up is CSX. So if the trannies start to perk up, so far this is the one. If you go to Norfolk Southern, here just starting off as an inside day to see if it's this and back up after the outside day and pop back up, or gets worse and drops in there. If we go to Union Pack inside day, and like many of these things, we're going to keep an eye on these potential momentum shooters to the downside. If we go to FedEx momentum shooter weekly, if they want to take that out, because UPS is now month and down momentum shooter weekly potential here. Like so. If we go to KEX, Kirby, still green on the month, inside week, and you'll see this here, this triangle in here. How do we get out of this thing? Well, you got an inside week to try and do it. CHRW has already done the old triangle rev stratter month, so it's an outside month now. That can't change. You just kind of see if it can retake anything out of that. If we go to the Utes still slightly green on the month, and you can see that shoot up, shoot down. Now this, what is this? 4 months up in here, this range. So on the weekly, you got this here, and it's an extra week. So you've got really on the inside weeks, you got ED. What else? You got EIX. A few inside weeks here. We'll see if they want to jump into yield off of that stuff. If we go to XME. XME, once again, the weekly momentum shooter, trying to reconfirm the month and down here. Inside month and down, trying to get through this stuff, but we'll see on the weekly here. Does come into this. The old triangle support, but we'll see, because it would be month and down and shooter down, and that can be a little rough. If you go to gold, gold's still walking slowly down on this, and if you go to the monthly, once again, still in this 3-month range, although be challenging it because you've got the GDX here trying to, once again, with the stocks of everything else, trying to go momentum shooter down on the weekly. So we'll have to see how all these kick in, confirm, or don't. If we go to ABX, ABX, once again, weekly momentum shooter here. Also starts off as an inside day. And if you go to RGLD, here's also an inside day. And potentially on that momentum shooter week, we'll have to see that. They're still green on the month, so we'll see this one is. So we'll see how that goes. If we go to Alcoa, weekly shooter, momentum shooter, and monthly down. If we go to ATI, that's still monthly down, albeit a 2-bar pattern as of right now. If we go to letter X, still month and down. You got Nucor trying to join the puker party of the weekly momentum shooter. The thing is, you are going into lower lows on all this stuff, so not only do these things have to kick in, they got to stay down because you're going into lower lows, although they try and go right back up on you. And you got TCK Copper putting on a clinic here, bullish engulfing, no problems here, at least so far, except you're going into higher highs in an inside day. So potential top of the triangle if they want to come after the copper. But certainly TCK handily outperforming in that environment, in that sector. If we go to financials, waiting on the Fed here, baby, and the FAS, you can see this just doing the slow, slight lower low every day, seeing if they can triangle back up or trying to momentum shooter. Once again, back into the triangle. We had Citicorp, the momentum shooter as well. You have Bank of America underperforming their momentum shooter. Still would be inside month. If we go to JP Morgan, same deal. If we go to Wells Fargo, man, they had all sorts of trouble, and that was a real nice inside week and downer there. The news certainly helped in, but we were looking at for that right out the chute because of last week's video. BK coming down, also momentum shooter. Let's see, what else have we got here? Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on BRKB, Berkey B, because it's also this weekly shooter, and that's a big portion of that FAS. And if so, we can also look at our old buddy, Fazzy Bear, FAZ, trying to go here, trying to go hammer. And if you look at the giant triangle here, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. There's the big fast triangle. All right, what if we went to the KRE stuff still hanging in there. So it goes slight and comes back in on the week, but for the daily, nothing really seriously there on the downside so far. OZRK would actually be RevStrat upside day here, and if it takes that, it's still close to turning that monthly green and the inside month back to the upside. Still a 2-month inside pattern, however. If we go to PNC still hanging around, not doing much, but still hanging around this range in an inside day. How do we get out of this? Obviously going to be a lot of eyeballs on this level, 89er below. If it stays down there, then you get that shooter again. If not, triangling back up. We shall see. All right, if we go to STI, another one hanging right near the highs. Up last week. Big inside day, so you got to get outside of this range, but still hanging around. Go to FitB, Fifth Third Bank Corp, inside day, and still walking up here, so still green on the month. If we go to, obviously the Fed going to have a lot to do with these guys, but American Express, just a little triangle here to keep an eye on. You've got MA hanging inside day and still trying to hang out near the highs, green on the month. So inside day and trying to go to new all-time highs is MA. If you go to the insurers, MetLife still trying to take out this, still would be a 3-month inside pattern, but trying to stay on that that hammer there on the monthly, and you are starting off as an inside day, still hanging near recent highs. You got Prudential. Not an inside day, but still hanging near recent highs if they still come into these things. HIG is still inside month and up, an inside day, albeit handily 2-month inside pattern, but it is what it is. Goldman Sachs, once again, side by side, potential shooters here if they want to come off top of the triangle and back in. And the Morgan Stanley, a little better, just 2-week inside pattern to try and get outside of that stuff. All right, if we go to crude oil and friends, the problem with the crude oil here is right now still an inside month, and so not giving us a real indication here until we can get outside of that. If you go to XOP, once again, you'll see these daily triangles here on the XOP. You'll see it on the XLE. And then if you go to OIH, a lot worse. This has been a lot worse anyway, as the OIH trying to do this. the momentum shooter weekly, momentum shooter monthly, if they want to take these out and shoot them. So if you got Chevron doing this on the weekly here. You can see this triangle here. Took the shooter down, now right back down to there. No new actionable signal, just keep an eye on that triangle. Exxon Mobil takes that shooter down on the weekly last week. And so it's just an outside month to the downside. If you go to the daily, you're going to see this here, trying to break out of here. And you take this and draw this like this. Like so. And you got more if you go way back, like this. Like this. How are we going to handle this thing? Is this a continuation of this and really get creamed, or was that all she wrote and start coming back up? A la oil still being an inside month. Now, APC, you can see here, no actionable signal, but more outperforming, if you will, because it's hanging near the highs while other things are dumping. Here, it's 2-day inside pattern of this thing. Need to get outside of that fractal. If you go to APA, the same. It's hanging out near the highs and potential momentum hammer to the upside here. Okay, if we go to FANG Energy, FANG, the old Diamondback did go shooter down on the weekly, and just going to start the week off with RevStrat Day potentially back up. Go to Oxy, oh boy, triangle what good she did, oh boy. And so Oxy just does this, baby, and dipsy-do, it makes the higher high. It made the higher high slightly, and then that was all she wrote. Now it's got to have to reclaim some of this stuff to have any hope. And that weekly just got them, but good. Oh. If we go to no new actionable signals there. If we go to PXD, you can see this slight higher high, slight lower low here on the weekly, and that's going to give you a triangle like these. If we go to Rice Energy, RICE, you can see this upper level triangle, another outperformer and potential momentum hammer weekly counter shooter. Yeah, hammer counter shooter and still walking up. If we go to Slobby, Slob, still on the monthly, taking that shooter back down here. Like this, off the slight higher high and back in. That's a problem in starting off the day. Is momentum shooter down as well, or momentum shooter, I should say, not down as yet. WMB hanging around, and WMB going inside weak here on this Waka Waka. If we go to Halliburton, a weekly momentum shooter, monthly shooter down. So, okay. If we go to Helmrich Payne, and that is also monthly shooter down. You're just stuck in this range so far here. This stuff in here, see how we get out of this range first. NOV would be 2-bar inside pattern, slightly RevStrat to the upside if there's any hope. You do have this on the weekly. Shooter if they want to bring it down. OII still doing the march of death and weekly momentum shooter. You can see how poorly this thing's behaved, even with the oil rally before, and so still all sorts of trouble, like the Riggies and the Diamond Offshores and all the other potential zeros. If we go to the refiner, WNR had that month and up and still going. That's nice, and now just starting off as an inside day. Tesoro, also still inside month and up right now. No new additional actionable signals. PSX on the month, still trying to get out of there and just starting off here on the daily like this. Lower lows. Higher highs. Inside day. If we go to MPC just trying to do this walker up, and you got an inside day after an outside week here. And if you go back to that daily, you see when I talk about triangles becoming support, you're going to see exactly what I mean. Voila, just like that, just trying to walk up there. Okay, if we go to CWEI, and this thing's still up there. However, you can see this slight higher high on the daily and then dropping back in. So the question is whether we're going to triangle them out and come back in, because if you go to the weekly, you're going to see this right to the tick-tock ticky on this triangle. Still green on the month, however, so it would have to counter that. If we go to IBB, So the IBB goes bullish engulfing and trying to save the day like in the NASDAQ. So we were looking at this here, this weekly triangle, to see if it got back in here and how bad it got. Gap down, slight lower low, and boom, right back up, giving you the daily triangle looking like this. Got them good down in here inside day and goes back to the highs of the week. So the question, is it going to be strong enough to retake all of this stuff, in the monthly here? Still green on the month. So when they talk about the big correction, some of these guys say no, 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 just yet. But any outside bar is a fractal triangle, so we have to be careful to see if that thing drops back in. If we look at the big boys over there, GILD. GILD is still battling this bottom of the monthly triangle, and if you go to the weekly, GILD is a 2-week inside pattern. So 2 weeks, got to take out either side of that and then take out this mother bar. But fighting to hold on to the bottom of this triangle is GILD. If we go to BIIB, here, remember this big bar here on the weekly finally took it out, but then have retaken it. So this level here is going to be really important as it was trying to go rev strat on the month, but gets back into the range of the month. So on this daily, you're going to see this here. Take them out, stop all these guys out, the big outside bar. Inside day, tries to go rev strat, doesn't. Keeps walking up here, so we're definitely going to keep an eye on this triangle in here in BIIB. If we go to Celgene, Celgene does the tight triangle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you. How do we get out of this? Still outside weak to the upside, and so either side of this one is use this as support. No new actionable signals. If we go to Amgen, here, Amgen potential daily Momo hammer to try and get through this stuff. So once again, you're going to see this whenever you have those outside weeks, but Momo hammer to try and get through here after the bullish engulfing week Amgen. If we go to Regeneron still in this big thing, and so still needs to get out of that, but like the rest of them, tries to do this here. Lower level triangle takes them to the low, stop them out, thank you, and does get through here and just higher than that, so you can see how we can get out of that, but no new actionable signal is going to be the problem. If we go to ABC, related to this stuff, ABC tries to go daily hammer. The problem here would be if it does go back down, you do have, once again, those weekly Momo shooters, and that's going to combine with a monthly shooter down if they take it down. ACAD, you can see this 3-month pattern inside of here, so you want to be real careful of that, and that's why you get the chop shop you do. But daily triangle to keep an eye on in here to see if you can get this outside bar, because it took it down, retook it, and now trying to come back up through that stuff. If we go to AGIO, was its name O? AGIO goes inside weak. Here, try and get out of this. So these tight triangle stuff, and triangles need to grow, and they will. As you can see, bam, 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 bam. Now we're just starting here off as inside week, AGIO. ALKS, here, is presently coming up on the month. Still 2-month inside pattern, but this inside month would break above 50.78. If you go to GWPH, big monthly triangle, trying to get out of here. Use this as hopefully the continuation, and you see this, trying to get outside of this one, and now inside week to try and get out of there. It's also starting off as an inside day. If we go to HZNP, people keep asking me about this thing. And, well, the good thing about this is you do have potential rev strat back to the upside. So if this is the lower level triangle, in order to try and get out of this, you go inside day, you counter with hammer and try and take that back up. We'll see how that rev strat goes come Monday morning. If you go to PBYI does this. Tries to get outside of the inside week, hits their Nugan on the triangle and comes back in. So the question is going to rev strat all these guys and take them back down, or try and re-break to the upside. If we go to Perigo, another one of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 days inside of here. And so we want to see how we get out of that or that. And then once we do, if we can go to the upside, you do have that potential rev strat month still to kick in. SGen has been very strong. And if SGen comes up, however, monthly triangle here would have to try and shoot toward the highs. And you're going to start off as an inside day here. And this is a nice inside day momentum hammer right here to expand the triangle and go up. But now we got another inside day. If we go to VRX, piggy, but it does start off as potential rev strat day back up. Off of, say, lay this. Oops. You get these highs here, you get the idea. Okay, if we go to XRT retail, XRT retail inside day to start off the week and still on the monthly in the middle of this stuff. How do we get out of here? It's nowhere near it. You got Walmart, also in the Dow. The question here is that outside month now retake it. Remember the daily triangle looking like this. Can she retake her to the upside? This, after stopping them up, but good in here. And you can have an inside week to do it. So if this is a corrective action here, stop them out within the realm of walking up. You got an inside week in the Walmart. Costco having all sorts of trouble. And Costco, but if you go the daily, you do go inside day potentially after this debacle, this upper level triangle that just absolutely fell apart. But now you start off as an inside day in Costco. Target, still the multi-monthly pattern that needs to change. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4 months within this range, and so nowhere near changing that just yet. If we go to Cabela's, not a mucho, but it is an inside week, so inside week, inside day combo to start off. So I just want to watch the initial equilibrium breaks, if you will. If we go to burritos, burritos goes inside week, and so the potential here is either rev strat or month back into piggy land, or can retake that week up and retake the month to the upside. If we go to CONN, coming out of the ashes, used to be somebody at $80, and something's up with that. All right, nice little either short covering, or we'll see if there's any more follow through on there. If we go to Nordstrom inside day. So the question is, if they triangle these guys out good enough in here, and then lower triangle here, but you got all this stuff to see if it goes up, sideways, measured move, and take all this stuff out would be very nice. Still an inside month, but you've got the outside week here, and so that's fractal triangle. So it's potential that inside day measured mover would take this out, fractal triangle here, corrective activity of this, but we shall see what we shall see. Watching that inside day right out the chute. Lowe's Corp, like with the Home Depot, going a weekly momentum shooter, however inside day here first. So we'll see how that goes. If you go to RH would be RevStrat daily downside, inside week combination. Ross Stores, inside week, inside day combination. Whole Foods, if there's any hope, Whole Foods goes inside day down here and tries to hammer week after taking everybody out of here. So if this is the bottom of the triangle, that's what it would look like. Still red on the month, but would be countered by day and weekly hammer up if he can do it. If we go to XLK on the week like this, you know, like the inside day and trying to go to new highs up here, or new recent highs anyway, and so all that kind of stuff. Or is it the lower high of failure and then fall apart? SMH did the gap up, but then came back in, triangle style right there. If we go to the Facebook's still hanging around. It is still inside month and up. It just in that spot where it tends to stop, but at this point it is still inside month and up. Amazon still green on the month, and you just see this tight stuff up in here. Bang, 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 bang. This was all still higher than that. 1, 2, 3 higher lows. That's still good. Just no new actionable signal in there is going to be the problem. If you go to the Netflixy, Netflix is inside month and up here. Still trying to get out of all this stuff though, but you got those slight lower lows here. Now inside after that higher high, so you got to try and get out of this stuff. No new actionable signals outside of watching reconfirmation of the monthly break. If you go to the Google, it's doing nothing. Look at this, this monthly doing nothing, and all that's going to give you is a real tight triangle here. Oops. There you go. Goog inside day, tight triangle business in here to see how it gets around with the Q-Star inside day. You got Cirrus Logic sticking it to them here and charging them out, but good, and going to the highs and trying to go Momo Hammer here. You can see that weekly outside week here, bullish engulfing. Now it's question higher high, momentum hammer, gotta go. All right, so if we go to Qualcomm, here's this weekly consolidation as well to see if that can go to the highs, because if it does, or the recent highs here, that's momentum hammer on the monthly. If it can take it out, if there's more semi-strength coming. If you go to Cyber here going inside day, and so the question here is, you're going to break out of this triangle? Are we holding the bottom to come back up into this stuff? Got them good in here. Lower low, higher high, lower low, higher high, lower low. Now inside day for the cyber. Also, if it does break that triangle, though, once again, like a lot of these things, that's momentum shooter back down to the downside. Pay attention to that. Let's not forget momentum shooter. If we go to STX still hanging in there and going inside weak. See how that breaks. If we go to VMW, you've got another inside weak there. You've got W day here still above the monthly momentum hammer, and now NOW still inside month and up, so we'll see how that goes. If we go to the home builders, ITB, we got problems over here. You got inside month and down in ITB. Once again, weekly momentum shooter if they want to continue that. You've got DHI, same deal. Month and down, weekly Momo shooter potential. You've got KBH. Taking the month and down, weekly Momo shooter, blah, blah, blah. You got LGIH here going inside week and inside day if they want to counter this stuff. So inside week, inside day. We'll see how those join the party. Masco, MAS. To see if you go down, sideways measured move. Inside month and down, weekly Momo shooter. If we go to Pull to Homes, PHM. Inside month and down, USG, monthly shooter down, inside week, momentum shooter, inside day. If we go to Weyerhaeuser, inside day, weekly Momo shooter, so we'll see how all that kicks in. Just a few more this week because we got a lot of breaks that need to go. ACN would be Momo shooter and monthly down. Archer Daniels Midland, slightly month and down. Weekly Momo shooter is the theme. It doesn't mean they're all going down, but we're certainly going to pay attention to these things if they do. Polaris still month and down, puker, and trying to take all this stuff out. If we go to PPG, that's presently RevStrat month down, potential Momo shooter weekly. If we go to RCL, weekly Momo shooter, monthly RevStrat down here. It's presently a 3-month pattern, needs to get outside of all that. Raytheon, monthly shooter down and inside day combination. We'll see how that goes. What is this? Down, sideways measured move. We're trying to recover. Wynn Resorts still inside month and up and inside day. Momo hammer on the highs. Trying to get out of all that stuff. All right. PayPal still inside month and up and inside day. ATVI inside day. Inside month to the upside into the highs. ENB still month and up. You've got Ashland ASH month and up. You've got LogMeIn LOGM still month and up, and you've got Tesla coming back just a tad here, and on that daily here we got them slight lower lows here. Now you took out the highs of these stuff and get through there. So now I'm going to try and get through this thing. 206.49. Still, if you look at the monthly, still a 3-month inside pattern, and that's why they'll chop around. Looks good, looks bad. Now we'll see if we can come back up into that range, but it needs really to get out of there. So we got a lot of these combinations, and if they do start hitting them, we do have a lot of combinations to the downside to be aware of, but a lot has to reconfirm. We've seen the weakness in the financials and overall, but and some of those small regional names doing all right. You see a divergence in the oils, and then still trying to go inside month on the oil. So still need a whole lot of things to kick in here to as we've seen the SPY diverge from the Qs and the IBB, all that stuff. We're going to see how that lines up as the week goes on. All right, that's going to do it for this weekend. I'm Rob Smith in the Black Quant Edge VTF at T3Live.com. Hope you all have a great weekend.